Okay, let's multiply the complex numbers. So this is the example problem that we're going to be doing. So we have 2 plus 3i. We're going to multiply that by 6 plus 2i. And if you're watching this video and you're interested in the topic, you would recognize, hopefully, that this is a complex number and this is a complex number. And the product is going to also be a complex number. Okay, so this is a foundational skill that you need to understand. And if you're, at this level of math, which is probably at least at the algebra level, okay, or beyond, right? Complex numbers are everywhere, extremely important. I'm actually going to just quickly emphasize what they are and the importance of them, and then we're going to go ahead and find the product of these two complex numbers. And we're going to get to all of that in just one second. But let me first quickly introduce myself. My name is John. I'm the founder of TabletClass Math. I'm also a middle and high school math teacher. And over many years, and I mean several years, I've constructed what I like to believe is one of the best online video-based math help programs there is. So whether you need to take a full course or you need help with the course that you're in, my program can help you. Okay, I teach far beyond what I do on YouTube, and I solve thousands of problems with video solutions, etc. But I'm going to leave a link to that program in the description of this video. You can check that out. Also, how are your math notes? Okay, I just love asking this question to math students. If your math notes are great, that's a good indicator that you're going to do very well in math. Okay, that's something I've seen decades of teaching math is those students who do have great math notes generally have great math grades, and the reverse is true. Those students who have sloppy math notes, no math notes, take math notes sometimes. My math notes are somewhere in my backpack. I can't find them. My dog ate my notes and my homework. Whatever your situation is, you got to do better in your note taking. Okay, so you need to work on that. But in the meantime, you need something to study from. So I actually offer notes. So those would include pre-algebra, algebra 1, geometry, algebra 2, trigonometry. I'm going to leave a link to those in the description of this video as well. Okay, so let's get into complex numbers and how to multiply these two guys together. So just a quick review. Remember, if you have a situation like this, x squared equals 16, and I was to solve this basic quadratic equation, I could just take the square root of both sides. I have x is equal to plus or minus 4. Okay, two real roots, no big deal. But if I go and I try to solve this equation, x squared is equal to negative 16. Well, I run into problems. Okay, if I take the square root of both sides, if you go into your calculator and you try to find the square root of negative 16, your calculator is going to give you some crazy error message, okay? Unless your calculator is more advanced and it's in complex number mode, it doesn't understand that because when you are taking the square root of a number, you're trying to say what number times itself is equal to negative 16. All right, well, it's not negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. So that's not the answer. And it's not positive 4 because positive 4 times positive 4 is positive 16. So, how do we solve an equation like this? Well, we need complex numbers. Okay, so the real number set that we've always, been used to, our nice, lovely real number line with 0 here and all the integers and fractions and decimals. That's an awesome number set, but that's typically what we've been used to. Well, the complex number set is even bigger than the real number set, and the complex numbers are in the form of a plus bi. Okay, so we have a real component and an imaginary component, and so we need to understand complex numbers because that's the only way you're going to be able to solve equations like this. And complex numbers, once you start studying them, they become more and more important in mathematics. Okay, they're not going away. Their importance is only going to become more, just more important. Let's just say it that way. Now, there's a quick little thing that you want to. We're talking about sets of numbers, and this little concept called closure. It's a little kind of an advanced uh, word, but basically it says this: that if we're dealing with real numbers, we take a real number, multiply by another real number. The answer will be in the real number set. Okay, so this is whatever operations you're doing within this particular set, the answer will be within that set. That's just a fancy way of saying that. Um, that we're dealing with complex numbers. So if we multiply complex numbers, our answer will also be in the set of complex numbers. So that's like that set, that field has closure to it. Okay. All right, now let's get to the actual problem. Now, the mechanics of doing these problems are not that difficult. Generally, what I've found as a math teacher is that students just don't even understand, hey, what are we even doing? What's this even about, right? It's like, just because you could do something, like follow a recipe, if you don't know what it's related to or why are we doing it, then that, you're going to struggle, okay? But let's go ahead and actually find the product to these two guys. So we have 2 plus 3i times 6 plus 2i. And using the FOIL method is a pretty good way to remember how to multiply two um, complex numbers. So remember back in your basic algebra, FOIL is first, outer, inner, last. So if you had a problem like x plus 3, multiply that by 2x plus 7, whatever steps you would take here, okay, typically students would be thinking the FOIL because of a binomial times a binomial. So here's the first, okay. These are the outers, this is the inners, and this would be, no, these are the outers, sorry, and then this would be the last, okay? So there's different approaches, but you can go ahead and just follow the FOIL method, or however you learn how to multiply two binomials, it's going to come out the same way. So let's go ahead and do that now. Whoops. All right, so here we go. So we have 2 plus 3i. So here, 2 times 6, all right, that would be our first, okay, for example. Now, first, we'll put the FOIL right here. That helps you, okay? If not, if you just know how to multiply binomials, that's fine too. So first, outer, so that would be 2 times 2i, okay? This is our outer, is what? So, well, first of all, let's do the first. 2 times 6 is 12, okay? Then we have 2 times 2i is 4i, okay? So it's just 2 times 2i, that's just going to give us a 4i, okay? Now, we have our inner, so that's going to be 3i times 6, which will give us 18i, and then we have our last, which would be right here. These are the two last, okay? 3i and 2i. Those are our last, so 3i times 2i is going to be 6i squared. And it's usually this thing right here when you're multiplying these two imaginary components that students get a little confused about. So that's 6i squared right there. So now we just have to kind of clean this up and combine like terms. All right, so how do we do that? Well, we have to address this I squared. Again, this is where students get a little confused. It's not that bad. But to address this I squared part, we have to know what the definition of I is, what an imaginary number is. So an imaginary number, I, is equal to the square root of negative 1. Okay? Well, I don't have I have I squared. So if I want to know what I squared is equal to, I could just square both sides of this definition. I equals the square root of negative 1. Well, if I square both sides, okay, I'm going to get I squared is equal to negative 1. The square root goes away. Okay, so you need to know this, and you need to know this, and you need to know how to find various powers of I, like I to the 57th power. Okay, things like that. I actually have some YouTube videos on how to deal with problems like that, but I don't want to digress too much. But you got to be able to handle various powers of I when you're working with complex numbers. All right, but the bottom line is that we know that I squared is equal to negative 1, so I can replace this I squared with a negative 1 and simplify. So that's what I'm doing right here. So remember, we still have our 12, our 4i, and our 18i. And at this point, I can combine these like terms, 4i and 18i. That would give me 22i. I have my 12 right there. And now I have my 6i squared, so it's my 6, and my I squared now is negative 1, right? So we talked about that. I'm going to replace the I squared with negative 1, and we already discussed why that's the case. And now I could just go ahead and simplify. So I have 12 plus my 22i plus 6 times negative 1 is negative 6. And I just clean this up, and negative 6 and 12 is going to be positive 6. So I have 6 plus 22i is the product of these two complex numbers, which itself is a complex number because it's in the form of a plus bi, okay? Remember, this is the real component and this is the imaginary component. So this is an illustration of closure in a number set, okay? All right, so that's basically it, with this particular problem. Multiplying complex numbers doesn't have to be difficult, right? But the whole idea here is for you to have a bigger grasp on, what complex numbers are, why we need them, and there's some other operations that are obviously involved with complex numbers that you're going to be studying either now or very shortly. So if you're learning how to multiply complex numbers, you're also going to have to learn how to find the conjugate of complex numbers. All that stuff involves multiplication. It's not that difficult, but again, you need to know why you're doing the things that you're doing. Okay, so that is basically it. Now if you didn't understand this one example, you should be able to do all examples, okay, when it comes to multiplying complex numbers. But none of this is going to make a difference unless you practice it. So you got to practice. Watching math is not the same thing as learning math. Okay, you got to actually practice what you learn. That's the way it's going to stick. All right, so if this video in some small way helped you out, I would certainly appreciate you smashing that like button. Also, if you're not a subscriber to my channel and you like the way I teach, I certainly hope you become a subscriber. I've been on YouTube for 10 plus years, and I have hundreds and hundreds of videos on my channel there for you to learn from. But if you want my best help, okay, I would strongly suggest checking out the resources in the description of this video. But with that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your mathematics adventures. Thank you for your time, and have a great day.